Hello everyone, my name is Amna Muhammad and I would like to welcome you all to our first Communication Society event, Communication Technology, State of the Art and Challenges. Today our speaker will be Shaima AlMeer, and now I will hand over the mic to Batul where she will introduce our speaker. Thank you, Batul.
Hello everyone. As my colleague said, I would like to welcome and introduce our speaker, Shaima AlMeer. Shaima is a 25-year-old space data analyst at the National Space Science Agency in the Kingdom of Bahrain. She graduated from Bahrain Polytechnic by the year of 23 with a bachelor's degree in Information and Communication Technology. Prior obtaining her bachelor's degree, she was known as the first robotics programmer in the Kingdom of Bahrain. By continuing her passion in innovation and technology, she was able to win the title of Bahraini Female Pioneer in Technology. Shaima has led and participated in several competitions locally and globally, and she was capable to achieve the first places to make our country proud, which are the first place winner in Bahrain Women Hackathon in Bahrain, first rank in Introduction to Geoinformatics in Netherlands, third place in NASA Space Apps COVID-19 Challenge Hackathon in USA, third place in Space Technologies Hackathon in Russia, and last but not least, third place in Sheikh Khalid bin Hamad competition for innovation in artificial intelligence in Bahrain. Shaima's main mission is to guide and raise awareness to youth within the technological and space field through workshops. While she was still a graduate and learning, she started giving out sessions to young individuals to show and encourage them to pursue a career within future science field. Also, Microsoft certified artificial intelligence engineer and data scientist. And welcome again, Shaima, and now with her presentation.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Amna and Batul. Today, our presentation is going to be about the correlation between space, technology, and innovation. Firstly, I would like to introduce the National Space Science Agency. The National Space Science Agency was established by a royal decree for the year of 2014, with a vision to promote Bahrain to a position of international prominence in the field of space science for the purpose of achieving comprehensive and sustainable development. NSSA's mission is to devise comprehensive programs to embrace and develop activities related to space science, research, and related studies. To move forward, I would like to introduce the Bahrain Space Team. I would like to point out that the Bahrain Space Team were more than this, but I just kept a few pictures. The Bahrain Space Team is divided into two. We have the engineers, the ones who actually design and implement the satellites. And then we have the space data analysts, this is where I come from. I come from the National Space Science Agency's laboratory, and I'm employed as a space data analyst. Being a space data analyst allows us to acquire data from satellite images. These satellite images allow us to develop certain analysis that would serve Bahrain's government. So I would like to share a few examples with you. First of all, this is an example of a high-resolution satellite image of the Kingdom of Bahrain. This image is not too zoomed in, but if I zoom in, I'll be able to see everything so clear to the point that I can also reveal the leaf of a tree in anyone's home right now. So it's a really high-resolution satellite image. I would like to showcase two very important yet interesting projects that the laboratory of the National Space Science Agency have developed from scratch. The first one would be the one on the right side, which is which has like points from different colors, which are red, yellow, and green. This project was the count of the palm trees in the Kingdom of Bahrain. A lot of you would think, why would the National Space Science Agency would want to count the number of palm trees in the kingdom? So a lot of people fail to realize that space science is not just about exploring other planets or building satellites and sending them over. However, there is much more to that. Okay, after sending out satellites, what would we do? What's the mission behind it? Why do we do that actually? So this is why the space field is very broad. Now, a good example would be, let's assume for a second that we have a group of people. We call them in, we tell them, okay guys, we would like to take you out for a field work and we would like you to count the number of palm trees in the Kingdom of Bahrain. So can you imagine how many manpower we need? Can you imagine the amount of work? Can you imagine the time needed, the resources? Also, we have to bear in mind the fact of the weather, whether it was cold or hot, and they have to bear with it. And let's not talk about the human errors as well. So there's a lot. And it will be very time consuming. So imagine having like 20 manpower and having like a duration of a year to finish this project. That's way too much for companies. What if I wanted it within the next week? That's a lot of work in a very short period of time, and I can guarantee you this will not be done if it was with manpower resources. So this is why, and this is where the National Space Science Agency comes into place. We utilize the high resolution satellite images to analyze and to extract the data from these satellite images. So what if we then move to a manual count? We would like, from 20 employees, we might reduce the manpower, let's say, to 5 maybe, and the duration from 1 year may be minimized to 6 months or 3 months. And then this is, again, a lot of time. So with the aid of satellite images and with the aid of the latest technologies such as artificial intelligence, we can now count the palm trees in the Kingdom of Bahrain in like 2 to 3 days with the validation of the human being. So the human input is always necessary in every single project we do, even though we can rely highly on artificial intelligence, but at the end of the day, the human input is always necessary. And then if you look into the colors, this project never stopped here. Now we are able to count the number of palm trees very easily with a click of a hand as soon as we get a new satellite image. But the laboratory team never stopped here. They also wanted to analyze the health of the palm tree. So with the aid of satellite image, we can also know if a palm tree needs immediate treatment, or it's healthy, or we can take time to treat the palm tree. So by this, we reduced time, we reduced a lot of effort, we reduced all the risks, and we can do it with a click of a finger. If we move on to the next picture on the left, we would see an image of a sea. And with this project, we were trying to determine whether there was an oil spill or there wasn't an oil spill. we sat with some experts in this field and we wanted to know what the exact problem was. We tried to understand it from the beginning till the end. And then we understood that a lot of entities that are actually supposed to handle this issue were facing problems of not being able to identify whether the picture shows, the satellite image shows an oil spill or if it was just a reflection of a cloud or a lighting. So we used artificial intelligence to build a system that as soon as you put in the SAR or the satellite image into the system, the system will be able to determine whether it was a positive spill or a negative spill. So even with this, we can analyze it with a click of a finger. This is how important artificial intelligence is in our lives. Now, if we move forward, we're going to talk about data. One second. All right. Okay. Speaking generally about data, we are so in love with the gift of free connectivity that no one has ever bothered to read the terms and conditions of the things we actually allow on our mobile devices. All our interactions, our credit card swipes, our web searches, our locations, our sites, and even our likes are collected in real time and attached to our identity. Each one of us has a certain identity, and with that, let's say it's kind of a package. With that package, all of our details are stored there. It allows the buyer to give direct access to our emotional pulse. They are sort of armed with this knowledge, and they keep fighting for our attention. So data is very powerful, and a lot of us do not even understand how powerful they are. They can impact us, they can change our behavior in certain manners. Even if we go through Instagram, each one of us, I can guarantee you that each one of us have a different explore page. Each one of us receive different ads. And that is because they have our identities. So they can also play around with our minds. For example, I've watched a documentary a few months back. It was on Netflix. They showed how certain organizations can play around with our minds, even in elections. They can, for example, you wanted to elect for person X, they'll play around with your behavior, with your data. They will take your data, they will analyze your behavior, and they will show you stuff that will change your mind into electing to person Y. So this is how data importance is. So information is power. The full-blown fourth industrial revolution will allow us to integrate data into information. So a data remains a data unless someone takes it and transforms it into a meaningful and useful information. Now, a lot of us may think what data scientists and what data analysts are, and what are the differences between them. Currently, I'm employed as a space data analyst. However, I have also received a I'm Microsoft certified as a data scientist. So the main difference between both, they all revolve around data, of course. However, the terminologies of scientist and analyst differs. So if we look into data scientist, a data scientist is someone who can predict the future based on past patterns. So If we have historical data, we can predict the future by using or by becoming a data scientist. And if we go into data analyst, a data analyst is someone who purely extracts meaningful insights from data. No matter how much data we have from the past and from now until this date, without the prediction of the future, we will be able to extract meaningful insights from data and create amazing visualizations. A data scientist job role, it involves estimating the unknown because we tend to predict. However, if we go to data analysts, the main job role involves looking at the known from new perspectives. So with data scientists, it's always unknown because we tend to predict. However, with the data analyst, it is from the known, however, from different and new perspectives. If we come into innovation, what is innovation? Innovation is always either a new idea or a new method or a new device. It is basically the introduction of something new. So, personally speaking, the foundation of innovation comes from curiosity and empathy. As a business leader, you always have to understand that you are your worst enemy when you assume that things will stay the same forever. Because it's only constant that people will change. Their behavior might change. Nothing stays the same. And I think we've been seeing it for the past few years. Up until today, everything has changed. Even with COVID-19, at a blink of an eye, everything was transformed into technology, even learning. So it is important that you become creative and open-minded to new experiences and to new methodologies. There's a reason why the best innovators are empathetic and problem finders, because you cannot come up with the idea unless you observe the world with fresh and empathetic eyes. So you always have to put yourself in your customer's shoes. So when we spoke earlier about the two examples that the NSSA laboratory implemented, they both were unique and innovative projects, and it also served a governmental need. Whenever we work on a certain project, we need to identify what the problem actually is. After understanding the whole problem, the whole concept, then we should come up with different and unique ideas. There's no point if each one of us did the same project repetitively. There is absolutely no point. But when each one of us thinks in a different way and we come up with different ideas and we might exchange them together and come along with another innovative ideas, that would be great. But having the same project and implementing it, there's nothing unique about it. There's no innovation. So it is very important that whatever project you work on it uniquely. And always see people as an ocean, the one that you don't know how deep it is until you actually explore it. So go out there and explore. Don't let yourself get anchored on a known shore, or else, trust me, you're gonna miss the future. With this, we have come to the end to the session. Thank you all for attending.
Thank you so much, Shaima, for your wonderful presentation. And thank you for giving us from your precious time. If there's anyone who would like to ask Shaima any question, please raise your hand. I have something to say. I don't have a question. Shaima, thank you very much. It was so much useful information. You encouraged me like to be an employee in NSSA. Thank you again. I hope for you the best.
Thank you, Amal, for your kind words, and I wish you all the best. And inshallah, you will have a future with NSSA sometime.
Inshallah, I would love to.
Thank you, Amal.
Oh, I feel, yeah. Abdullah wants to ask a question. Yes, Abdullah.
Hello, I'm an electronic engineering student, and I want to know if I can be a part of NSSA or not. Is there any chance in NSSA that needs in engineering student, electronic engineering student?
In terms of engineering students, the NSSA, people can apply to the NSSA if you were engineers and if you were technical people from the IT department. You can apply through CSB.
Okay, thank you.
Can you please clarify for them CSB? I don't think. Abdullah, did you understand what CSB means?
Civil Service Bureau. الجهاز الخدمة المدنية.
Okay. Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to ask a question before we conclude? I think everyone understood the presentation. Thank you again, Shaima, for your hard work and for your collaborative efforts with us and for this wonderful presentation. We really enjoyed every second of it.